Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, my name is Andi, and I'm really happy that you're here. Happy Mask Monday. Happy Mask Monday, everybody. So today I am going to do the Aceology Peel Off Mask Brightening Treatment Mask, is what it says. I can barely read it. I've seen a few people do this, and I've actually already gone through one of these, just not on camera. So today we're going to do a little bit of real talk because there's a lot of us that struggle with our weight, and it's definitely like I said, something that a lot of us struggle with, and I just kind of wanted to share my experience and my journey, because I do get down on myself a lot about my weight. And you know, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what works for me. And then this is the way that I feel. I don't think that everyone should feel the way I feel. These are just my opinions, and these are the things that I have done that have worked for me. So, when I was a teenager and a young adult, I was very thin. I was 120 pounds. And looking back in photos, I was probably a little too thin, but I was I was very athletic. I was a cheerleader in high school, and our cheerleaders were very athletic. A lot of them were actually on the track team in different spring sports. We weren't allowed to do any fall or winter sports, but we could do spring sports because we didn't really have cheer that time of year. So I was a cheerleader, and we ran a mile 3 times a week, and we were in the weight room 3 days a week. And so, yeah, it was something that was just a part of being a cheerleader at my school. You had to be athletic, because we did do some competitions, and we didn't do mounting during the season, but we did it in competitions. So, and that carried over to when I first went to college. I went to college to be a police officer. So when I graduated, I went to college to be a police officer, and I was in the gym 4 days a week. I didn't do a whole lot of cardio, but I did a lot of lifting. I was very athletic. I am of the body type that is what is now considered thick. Like, I have a bigger bottom half than I do top half. But I always had a very thin waist and not a very large upper, you know what I'm saying? The girls weren't very big. So, I'll wipe my spatula off. I was in college for about 1.5 years, and I did want to be a police officer, but I decided that I wanted to go to beauty school, which I know those are two totally opposite things. I was getting some pushback from my dad's side of the family about being a police officer. And so I went to beauty school. And while I was in beauty school, I did not continue to work out. I did not do much physical activity at all. I went to beauty school and came home and then went to the bar. I became quite the drinker, which also will pack the pounds on you, let me tell you. I've always been a beer drinker. So, also at lunchtime, our beauty school was in a mall. So at lunchtime, we would go and we would go get all the great things to eat and all of that. So little by little, I added, a little bit of weight, but not a whole lot. Um, so still young. And then when I started working in the hair industry, I started working at a JCPenney, also in that same mall. And I don't know if you know, most hairstylists do not take time out for lunch. We eat on the fly because the more customers, the more clients we can fit in, the more money we make. So there was a place that was right outside of Penny's. It was a restaurant called Bradfield's, and they had really good food. So every day I would run to Bradfield's. I would order my food. I would sit down and smoke a couple of cigarettes because I was a big smoker then, and then pick up my food and go back to work. And it was either a cheeseburger, a cheesesteak, or a fish sandwich, like fried fish sandwich. That's what I ate, and fries. That's what I ate. I was also a big Mountain Dew drinker. So, even though I was standing all day, I was not doing any kind of physical activity. So I just kept gaining more and more and more weight. A friend of mine decided that she was going to go to this place called Diet Workshop. And I had gotten to 200 by this point. She was going to Diet Workshop. She wanted to know if I wanted to go with her. I said, sure. So went to Diet Workshop and lost 30 pounds. And because I hadn't had children yet, I still had a flat stomach. And so I was about 170, 165, 170, just depending on the week or whatever. And then I just saw, I stopped going to Diet Workshop. I don't know, it was kind of weird to me. Like, the people were kind of weird. So I stopped going, and of course you gain everything back. Well, I met my ex-husband, my husband at the time, my husband, who became my ex-husband. I met him at this time. And, when you get comfortable and all of that, then you gain. So I gained. I went to Weight Watchers like 3 different times. Each time I lost 30 pounds. 30 pounds seemed to be the magic number. I would lose 30 pounds and then I would stop going and stop following the program and then gain it all back plus. Then I got pregnant with my daughter, and I got up to 260 when I was pregnant with my daughter. And so then after I had my daughter, I lost a bunch of weight very quickly. I did breastfeed and lost a lot of weight very quickly. And then since then, I've just been yo-yoing up and down, up and down, up and down. And started working at a warehouse because I got divorced and I needed benefits. And my dad, after retiring, went to work at this warehouse. And so he got me a job there for benefits, and it was a very physical job. And my first night there, and it was replenishment, which meant I was lifting heavy boxes and putting the things away and things like that. And I lost I had gone up to 290. And then I had lost down to 210 in like a matter of 8 months. So 80 pounds in like 8 months, and basically working out 10 hours a night. 4 days a week, because we'd worked 4 tens. So I was very happy. And then that's when I met Anthony. Well, I met Anthony right before I started working at Staples. So Anthony has known me big, and then small, and then big again. And so I lost all that weight. Plus, while I'm working, I'm building muscle. So I was in great condition. I had built muscle. I had lost weight. I was in a size 12, which is where I really like to be. I love to be in a size 12. And then I got laid off from that job and gained a little bit back, and then a little bit more and a little bit more. So we started our business so that I'm working from home. And my neighbor across the street, I hadn't seen her for like 3 months because it was winter time. She asked me if I wanted to go to game night at her friend's house, which means basically a party, but we play games and drink and all of that. And I wasn't near as much of a drinker as I was, before I met Anthony. Before I met Anthony, I was a very, very heavy drinker. It was also, well, it was mostly social drinking, but I was social a lot. So, saw her, and she's a very tall person. So she carries her weight very well. But we would talk about being unhappy with our weight and things like that. Well, she had, in December of that year, she had started keto, ketogenic way of eating. There is a lot of stigma about keto, and I say do what works for you. But there is a lot of false information about keto from the companies and agencies that make money on the food pyramid. So I did a lot of research and I found very conflicting things. But after talking to her, I decided to try it. And my best friend Dina at the time, her and I had both been doing Weight Watchers again, because they changed their program, like, I don't know, every 5 minutes Weight Watchers does. You know what? And if Weight Watchers works for you, I think that's amazing. More power to you. It did not work it worked for a while, but to me, it's a very unrealistic way of eating. To me, my opinions. These are all my opinions. So this was 2018, and this was February of 2018. And so anyway, Dina, my best friend, she had texted me and she was like, I'm thinking about trying keto. And I just talked to my neighbor about this. So I decided March 1st, that's it. Keto is very different from anything that you've ever known in your whole life. You've always been taught low carb, good fiber as far as like healthy grains and all of that. And keto is not that. Keto is high fat, low carb, mid-level protein. And I'm an all or nothing person. I can't eat, I can't have a weekly cheat day, because then it will become a weekly cheat day, then it will become a week-long cheat day. It would cheat week, and then cheat month, and then before I know it, I've gained all my weight back, which is what's happened. So I did keto, and the first couple weeks are really, really rough. Really rough. Your body is detoxing from all of the sugar and carbs that you have put in it, basically your whole life. After the 2 weeks, I didn't have the sugar cravings anymore. I was a sugar person. Like, I love sweets, and I love potato chips, and I love French fries and all of that. I'm not a big pasta person. I'm not a big rice person. I love bread. I do love bread. Baked bread, oh my gosh, is like one of the best things ever. But anyway, I just took to it. Like, it was like, oh wow, this is actually going to work for me. And it did. It worked for me for a year and a half, almost 2 years. I lost 78 pounds, and I was very happy. And I wish I would have worked out while I was doing that, because I did have a lot of extra like loose skin like this here, which is age and weight loss, and the fact that I was so big to begin with, in my opinion. The December of 2019, my mom and I decided to make Christmas cookies. Every year we've made Christmas cookies, and we make like 100 dozen cookies. Yeah, a lot of cookies. And then we give them away. I decided that I was going to eat those cookies. I was going to eat some cookies. And it threw me off. Threw me off. And I did not lose any more. And then I gained a couple pounds every couple weeks. I would be gaining a couple pounds. And then 2020, I lost my father, which I've talked about before. I lost my father. And I'm not an emotional eater. Normally, if I'm upset, I don't eat at all. But I was grieving, so I needed comfort. And food comforts me very much. Anthony and I say to each other all the time, we should not have this type of an emotional response from food, but it does, makes me happy. So we lost my uncle, who was my dad's brother. We lost him. We lost my dad in July. We lost my uncle in December. And it was just a really crap year. It was a crap year for a lot of people because it was 2020. So it was a crap year for a lot of people. A lot of people lost loved ones. So my pain is no different from anybody else's pain. I'm just talking, I'm just talking about what I felt. So keto went out the window completely. Like sometimes I would just fall off the wagon. Sometimes I would drive the wagon in the ditch. But after my dad's passing, I sold my wagon. Like, I don't need that wagon anymore. So I have gained, of the 78 pounds I've lost, I have gained 50 of it back. And I made a realization with myself that it was the grieving. It was the quitting smoking, which I've talked about before. My daughter moved out December of last year, so I was also grieving that. That's hard, and she's my only child. It's hard when that happens. Even though she only lives 3 minutes away, she's not here, and she and I have a very close relationship. So it's been a lot of. I've just felt discombobulated, and I have gotten back on keto a few times. And done very well for a few weeks, and then I will do something, eat something, and then it throws me entirely off. So Anthony has been keto a lot of that time too, but he's not been strict about it at all. And which, when he eats things that he shouldn't eat, then I feel like I want to eat those same things. So it's really difficult when it's people that, when you live with people that don't follow the same way of eating that you do. I don't like to call keto a diet, because it's not a diet. It is a lifestyle change. It is a way of eating. You can't just go on keto and lose a bunch of weight and then think that you're going to keep that weight off after you go back to eating. And that's with any diet. You just have to change your whole mindset. And I was in that zone for a really long time. And so now I'm creeping back into that zone, and I'm really happy with I haven't been on a scale. That's another thing. Keto is really not your friend, or scales are really not your friend on keto. They fluctuate quite a bit. I only will weigh myself once every couple weeks, and since I did weigh on Friday, and since I weighed 2 weeks earlier, I have lost about 10 pounds. And that's another thing, is on keto, your first 10 pounds, you get very excited about, and you should celebrate that. But your first 6 to 8 pounds is all water weight, because keto flushes all of that bloat and all of that extra water from your system. So while it's still an awesome thing to see on the scale, it's not really weight, it's just water. So I need to wrap this up because it's getting later. It's 20 minutes. So I'm back on track again. I have realized a lot of things about myself through this whole journey, and unhealthy addiction to food. I am addicted to food. I'm addicted to food that I shouldn't be eating. And I think it's okay to allow yourself a splurge every once in a great while. When I first started, once a month, I would eat whatever I wanted for one meal, and then I would get right back on, and it was very easy to get back on. And right now it's not as easy to get back on, and I don't know why that is. But I'm slowly getting back to the mindset that I need to be in, and being a little bit more physical, doing physical activity, because I don't want the extra skin and the loose skin, because I don't know about you, but I don't have the money to go get everything tucked back up where it belongs, which is my goal. I'll be 49 in April, and I would like, for around my 50th birthday, I would like to go have something done, something tucked back in. But we'll see about that. So right now I'm just taking it a day at a time, just like any addict. And I'm not saying that I'm not comparing myself. I'm not comparing the food addiction to drug addiction, because I know that that is a very hard thing. But I am an addict. I have a very addictive personality to a lot of things. So I just have to remind myself of that. And I have to hold myself accountable. One of the things that I wanted to do on this channel when I merged my channels, I'm going to see if it's not quite dry yet. When I merged my channels, I wanted to feature more keto on here, and I haven't been doing that. So, guys, thanks for sticking with me through this. I know it wasn't like an exciting thing. It wasn't like, fun questions or empties or anything fun like that. But I don't know. I just kind of want to put that out there, that if you're struggling with your weight and it's causing you to be unhappy with yourself, you're not alone. You're not alone. There are many of us out there. There are many of us out there that have an unhealthy addiction to food. That's how we got the way we are, is because it's an unhealthy addiction to food. So I'm going to leave you now, and I'm going to let the rest of this mask dry so that I can peel it off easily. So everybody, thanks again. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. And we'll see you later.